pushing it and caricaturing it from there. You know, so it's not like as if like it's super. It is realistic, but it's caricatured realistic, right? You know, so Santa Claus has got like a little bit more weight, you know, than like if it was just straight motion. Guardians like was one of the shows that I didn't get a chance to work on.
Okay.
I got to work on Croods with David, and I got to work on all the movies kind of leading up to that, but I never got to work on Guardians. But it was a very, very sophisticated movie for a number of ways.
Yep.
The character designs are very sophisticated, but it also meant that the animation had to come up. Like, can you talk a little bit about how?
Well, the character designs are pretty realistic in a way, so it's like it's stylized realism. So you had, of course, to animate them models and them characters realistically. So we were really close to live action reference on that show. Basically, the very first exercise we gave to the guys coming in the show, to the animators coming in the show, were an eye test where we would ask them to shoot a reference of their own eyes, just complete random eye movements, but I mean random or like natural eye movement, no acting in there, just the mechanics of it. So blinking, eye darting, rising brows and stuff like that, and analyzing this frame by frame, even copying the reference, the actual reference in the CG without any thought process behind it, just to understand, well, studying it, analyzing it, but not putting any emotions or nothing in there behind it. Just for pure mechanics. So
just to see how an
eye moves. An eye moves. I mean, you see so many times in animation where the eyes are just round eyes and then the pupils moving around, but nothing is involved. No muscles are involved around it. So you end up with animation like this, you know, and you don't want that. I mean, that's ugly. And I see that so many times in so many movies. And we're like, no, when you bring down your eyes, your lids come with it, and it's actually closing the eyes almost, you know. So it's making them aware of that. An eye dart is like, it's not one frame, it's usually 2, 3, 4 frames, and there is a recoil, and there is tons of muscle. A blink is involving so many muscles and like pushing in and stuff like that. So we wanted them to be aware of that, so that they could infuse that into their animation when they go a bit more cartoony, but still keeping that realism in there. As well as a body mechanic movement that we asked them to do with Jack, the main character, which was a pain to animate because of long legs. Knees were popping all the time.
Well, the skinny characters are always that way.
He was so stiff at first when we started animating and you know, the chest, and so it was just trying to get him to work, you know, because when you walk, I mean, we all have that idea of the walk with the 4 poses, you know, and actually that's a caricature of a walk, but if you study a real walk, it's not exactly like that. And there's so many things happening inside of us, like mini bounces and counter animation happening in the chest, between the chest and the pelvis and the spine, and so it's trying to analyze that very carefully and very precisely by copying a reference like every 2 frames, every frame has 3 frames, trying to get those reflects and reinfuse them into animation later on.
I mean, the one thing that I noticed, like just from looking at various sequences, is it's better than motion capture, because you guys are analyzing your own acting and then pushing it and caricaturing it from there. You know, so it's not like as if like it's super. It is realistic, but it's caricatured realistic, right? You know, so Santa Claus has got like a little bit more weight, you know, than like if it was just straight motion.
And after that, from there, you shape your poses. Otherwise, I mean, you end up with. We went too realistic at first, too close to the reference, I guess. And
what was the result of that? Why did you go away from
that? The result is, since you have very graphic characters, it's not pure realism, you know. So, and then they looked underplayed. They looked very dull and boring, so very stiff as well.
Sense.
And then you lose entertainment. And basically, an actor, when he plays in front of a camera, I always try to push a little bit the naturalism, you know. I mean, most of the time, even live action actors, you know. And so we ended up having something a bit too toned down, and we got slapped a bit by Jeffrey and Bill just to push
more the entertainment, the expressiveness,
expressivity of the characters and the emotions, and because I mean, when you just look at live action, I mean mocap as it's done in Bob Zemeckis movies, for instance, you don't get much from that in the faces because it's too real, and there is something missing in the eyes, something missing. So. And to achieve that, it's just basically pushing the expression, trying to get the right emotion by pushing them and designing them further.